How to never run out of things to say. It's 2021, I'm fresh out of lockdown, and I can remember so clearly I was in a conversation. I was sat, and the person sat in front of me. We were talking. I made a decent joke. The person in front of me laughed, and then silence. Well, anyway, I said with a sheepish smile. God, I felt so lame. But now, I can keep conversations flowing effortlessly, whether it's with someone completely new, a total stranger, or someone I've known for 10 years. Here is how I do it, and the 3 ideas that helped me change everything, plus a bonus secret framework at the end that you can steal. So, just to be clear, in this video, I'm going to break down why your brain goes blank and how to fix it, the mindset shift that helped me speak freely without sounding weird, without sounding like some strange guy who doesn't know how social interactions work, and how to make people keep wanting to talk to you. How to make people want to keep speaking to you and you specifically without feeling like you're manipulating people. And finally, a bonus framework that helps give you unlimited angles and topics to talk about with people without sounding like a robot or without sounding like you're interviewing them, right? Because that's something we all hate. So the first thing I want to talk about is, you ever been in a situation where you had something to say, or maybe you were passing a stranger and you thought of something in your head, but then you didn't say it, right? You thought in your head, oh, that person's blue hoodie looks like the sky. And you have these weird thoughts, but you don't say it. Why is that the case? Well, that is because of something called the mental filter. Basically, you're not running out of things to say. You're filtering out 90% of what you could say because you think it's too stupid, you think it's too weird, or it's dumb, or it's silly. Because of these thoughts, you don't say those things. Because basically you're scared of sounding weird, right? You don't want to sound weird. So, like, that also, applies for things like dumb questions, right? If you had a question in your head, but you didn't put your hand up to ask the teacher, that's your mental filter at work. But the truth is, you can actually lower that filter. And when you do, conversations flow. You'll survive that weird moment of awkwardness, the occasional, time when something you say feels a little bit weird, a little bit off. You'll survive. You'll be okay, I promise. Right? Even if it feels like you want to dig, open a hole, and just hide. If you feel like you want to disappear in that moment, it's okay. I've been there, I've done that, and it's fine. You'll be okay. But the thing is, people will actually like you more. People will literally like you more if you have a lower mental filter, because you're a real person. And that leads me on to my next point, which is, you don't need to be clever, right? You just need to be honest. You need to be authentic, because humans live off of authentic connections. Humans live off of actually feeling connected to something, to someone, rather than, the perfect, witty, clever punchline. Here's my 7-step pickup. Like, people don't operate that way, okay? Say what you're noticing. Just speak what's within your thoughts, okay? Whatever you're thinking, whatever you're curious about, even if it's dumb, people aren't grading your thoughts. They're not examiners, okay? Not everything in life is an exam. They just want to feel connected. Even the people who walk down the street like this with their headphones in, right? They just want to feel connected to something. And because they don't want to, for some reason in that moment, they don't want to connect to people. Maybe they're tired. Maybe they're actually not a confident person. They're an introvert. They are connecting to like music instead of connecting to a person. But when you become that connection, you become that source of authentic connection for that person. Do you see how powerful that can be? So the point is, speak what is on your mind. Say what's on your mind. Just random thoughts. Just start it. Just try it tomorrow. Try it tonight if you can. Just say what's on your mind. When you pass a stranger, say what's on your mind. You're walking, you see someone with their dog. Oh, you have a really cute dog, by the way, right? So if you want some lines, I was just wondering. This is random, but bam. That reminds me of bam, right? You can do these things, okay? You can actually do this. Like it's completely normal and okay to do that. And in fact, people will like you for being authentic and connecting with them properly, because you're actually giving them that opportunity to form human connection. And it's deep rooted within human psychology, okay? The third concept I want to talk about is, imagine people, any person that you see has a signpost on their head which says, "Make me feel important." Right? You might want to write this down. Imagine that everyone has a sign on their forehead which says, "Make me feel important." Why? Because, again, it's evolution. Humans want nothing more than to feel important. So if you can give that to them, people will think you're amazing. People will think you're absolutely a delight to be around. Because the people who never run out of things are not things to say, sorry. The people who never run out of things to say, an amazing conversationalist, the best conversationalist in the world. They focus on you, not on themselves, because people love to talk about themselves so much. I'm sure you've had times in life where you've spoken too much about yourself. I'm sure you've encountered people who just don't stop talking about themselves. And that's not behavior that I would, tell you to replicate. I wouldn't advise you to do that. But you should focus on the person in front of you. You ever talk to someone and you've just felt amazing talking with them, and you're like, wow, what an amazing person, what a great conversation I had with them. But then you realize, wait, I didn't actually learn that much about them, huh? That's because they're a really good conversationalist and they were putting the focus on you and they made you feel important. Right, so let me hit you with this. They might not remember your actions, they might not remember your words, but they will remember how you made them feel. So really keep that in mind, okay? Make them feel seen, make them feel heard, make them feel interesting. They need to feel like they're the most interesting thing in the whole room. Make me feel important. Remember, they have a sign on their forehead, okay? And here it is, the juicy bonus framework that gives you unlimited things to talk about. Okay, so eventually you are going to hit a silence in a conversation. That is completely fine. That is normal. I get silences in conversations and it can be a little bit awkward, but if you don't make it into an issue, it's okay. The conversation will carry on. If you ever feel stuck, what you need is Ford. And I don't mean the car Ford, I mean the framework Ford, okay? And Ford stands for family, occupation, recreation, and dream, okay? So these are four universal topics that have been proven through psychology to be the best to talk about with new people, or even just people you know, right? You can catch up with people on these four things. You can get to know people on these four things. You can basically rinse and repeat them. As long as you're not talking about the exact same things all the time, you can literally repeat these with the same people just because of how deep rooted these are in human biology, right? So there is one caveat to this, right? You can't just bring it up randomly. Like you can't just walk up to a stranger and be like, "Hey, what's your dream in life?" I mean, you could, you never know, it might work. I've not personally tried it. I don't think that would be that would sort of be a bit socially weird, not very calibrated. So you got to kind of come into it naturally, come into the topic naturally, okay? So just start with, how was your day, blah, blah, blah. And they mention, oh, I was working on my laptop in the coffee shop, right? And then you can talk about, oh, what are you working on? Is it like some big project of yours? Bam, dream. Sort of also occupation, but boom, enter those topics. But the main caveat is, do not cycle through them one by one. Don't go, oh, are you working on a big project? Oh, do you have a brother, by the way? Like, don't speak like that. Okay? Think sniper, not machine gun. Pick one of the 4 forward and go really, really deep. Shoot really deep and try and get to know everything, or not everything, or all the juicy bits about that part. So I don't mean like, oh, the gossip, whatever, the private stuff. I mean like, just go deep into one thing. Okay? So for example, they go, oh, I like climbing, so that's recreation. And you say, oh, so you're into climbing. That's really intense, bro. What got you into climbing? Oh, yeah, I started in the gym, and then I saw there was a climbing wall. It looked cool, so I wanted to try it. Oh, right, that's really cool. So you go to the gym as well. What gym do you go to? Right? Voila. People love talking about what lights them up and stuff. So use Ford to guide a conversation and use it as a backup if you ever hit a silence. Don't dominate the conversation. Make sure they feel important. Remember our 3 principles, okay? Right, so just to recap. You're not boring, okay? You're not an introvert. You're just blocked. So lower that filter, say what's on your mind, and make them feel important, okay? And if in doubt, use Ford. They say if you get 2 out of 4 of the Ford, if you learn about that, and you speak about 2 out of those 4 topics with someone, you formed a genuine connection with them. All right? So if you want to build your confidence socially without becoming someone that you aren't, then subscribe to this channel, like the video, and drop a comment to boost it for the algorithm so that you see more videos like this. And if you want to fast track your progress, check the link in the description. I'm actually building a course where I explain everything in detail with frameworks just like this, different mindset shifts, stories, and examples so that you know exactly what to do and how to implement it. If you want to fast track your progress, link in the description. Otherwise, have a good day. See you soon.